Hello, my name's Helene Hall, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can change your thoughts to change your health. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in and around the comments. So over the years, I've dealt with quite a few health issues, and that's been quite nicely, I guess, on two parts. So hopefully you'll fit into one or both of these areas. So the first one is subconscious programming. So this is programming from childhood, from the family, from close relatives or friends, the environment, all of the things that are really very much in your formative years, which can influence your health and your genes. And the second one that I've experienced is the root cause was an internal belief that was from, I guess, a trauma or an emotional trauma that really triggered a physiological response, which was not something that I would have naturally got just from my subconscious beliefs. So the thoughts we think have a major impact on our health. I was very ill many years ago. I was in a wheelchair for 3 years, racked with pain, and had a lot of health complications to deal with. Part of that, which was chronic fatigue syndrome. And the second one that I want to mention was I had polycystic ovaries. Now, the second one was triggered from a belief or a traumatic experience which then created the illness or the disease. And the chronic fatigue or ME or allergic response was a whole variety of different things that contributed to the first issue. That was more subconscious programming and teeming with stress and environmental factors. So there's a lot of things available today which has provided a huge amount of evidence to show that our thoughts impact our health. Now we can see this through the morphogenetic field, which also shows, and this is Robert Sheldrake, we can see how our thoughts are not necessarily just our thoughts, that there is another morphogenic genetic field that actually shares the consciousness or the thoughts of those around us. And there's a huge amount of information on this. I would recommend it for you to check it out for yourself. I think it might be Rupert Sheldrake, but I'll put the links below. And there's even studies to show that the thoughts that we think can switch on the genes, switch on or off our genes. So for example, where a family has cancer, a running cancer in the family, and you would say that the cancer is therefore in the genes. There's been studies that have shown that children added into a family which has a genetic history of cancer have also got the same cancer. So it didn't come from the genes, but it was switched on by the thoughts, the beliefs, and the subconscious programming within that environment, because thoughts create health and they also create disease. There's been hundreds of thousands or millions of people that have changed their health through the power of their thoughts and their mind. So if they can do it, why is that not applicable across every single human being? Now, I believe, and there's a, I guess the science now is leading us to believe that that is the case, and that there's more to it than what we currently understand. And as part of that, it's about educating ourselves to understand that thoughts create health and they also create disease. It's not just thoughts, it's our beliefs. It's what we believe to be true, and it's our expectations. So thoughts, beliefs, and expectations have a major part to play in our health. So on one side, that's very much around the subconscious mind and the programming, especially within the core pivotal years of up till 7 of being around your family and establishing those subconscious beliefs and subconscious mind. But there is another side that can trigger disease or cause problems with your health, and that's often triggered by an emotional or a physical or a trauma of some sort that has conditioned the subconscious mind or conditioned our beliefs to create disease. Now, for me, obviously, as I mentioned before, that was the polycystic ovaries for me, and whereas the subconscious and environmental was the ME or the chronic fatigue syndrome. So I managed to cure myself of both of those diseases, and the first was when I was very young, when I had ME or chronic fatigue syndrome, and I was 13 years old. Now, I suffered with that for 3 years, and within that process, this is where I learned a lot of the things that I know today, and then later on in life I was able to test it through polycystic ovaries and cure myself from that. So the first one really, as a means of getting hold of your health issues and finding what is the root cause, the first thing I would recommend that you do is you monitor your thoughts. You want to understand, what are you thinking? Is it positive? Is it negative? What are your general patterns? Are you feeling, and it's not just you, are the people around you positive or negative? What is the conversations? What are you listening to? What is the environmental factors around? So monitor that and actually find out what are you dealing with, and therefore you'll be able to understand what you need to address. You want to spend some time reflecting on your family and the people that you were around in your formative years. So what were their thoughts? What was the general feelings? What were the health conditions? What were the commonalities between those? And looking for patterns that you could be rebuilding back into your life as an adult. So it's really true that you are who you surround yourself with, and you can look, and it doesn't have to be just health, but you can look at your closest 7 people and you can pin what your expected salary will be just based upon your closest friends or family. You can do that with your health. You can do that with a lot of things, and that's because you are effectively, we are as human beings very programmable. We live in a subconscious and a conscious, in our conscious and subconscious mind, and without the knowledge and of the awareness of this, we can just plod on and not really think outside of our box and not really understand what we need to address if we're wanting to change certain things. After you have understood and monitored your thoughts and conversations, what you're watching, what you're listening to, then you'll want to see how does that correlate to what you want to achieve? Does that mirror what you currently have, and is that different to what you currently want? This is where you need to start reprogramming your mind, especially if it's more of the subconscious mind and the childhood and the upbringing, where you'll need to reprogram your mind to the opposite of what those thoughts are, which would be, I am healthy, my body is ever recreating itself. It's not that we are born and then from the first moment that we're born we're dying. That is not the case. Our body is absolutely amazing. We have brand new, every single person has a brand new eye, a brand new heart, a brand new liver, kidney. Please continue to part 2 for the rest of the video.